Hi everyone, how's life? Hope you're well. My name is Sam. I run a YouTube channel called Sam4G0d where I do a lot of theme park content. So I travel to Disney parks around the world, whether it's Walt Disney World, Disneyland Paris, Disneyland California. I also go to other theme parks like Universal. So if you're interested, I would love to have you there. I'm very excited, as you can probably tell by my outfit, because Disney recently announced the dates for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party at Walt Disney World for 2026. And if you've never heard of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, it's basically a paid after-hours ticketed event that happens on select nights at the Magic Kingdom in Walt Disney World throughout the season of Halloween. So normally it starts from August and ends in October on actual Halloween day. I've been lucky enough to attend Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party twice, and both of those times I had the best time. So I thought in this video I would give you some tips if it's your first time attending or if you haven't been for a long time, because like I said, it's one of the most exciting times of year, especially for Walt Disney World. If you like the spooky season, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is the most fun that you can have in a Disney park. Now my first tip is that if you're visiting Walt Disney World and hoping to attend one of the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties, then make sure to get your tickets in advance. And the best place to do so is of course attractiontickets.com. Some of the dates, especially on weekends and when you get closer to actual Halloween, can end up selling out. This is a very popular event. Tourists love it, locals love it, families love it. It's an event for everyone. So like I said, if you want to make sure that you get the date that you want, then the best thing is to book that date in advance. And the prices will vary depending on when you're going. So if you're going in the middle of the week, if you're going in August, for instance, as opposed to October, when it gets closer to Halloween, it becomes even more popular. So prices can range from around 100 to 220 UK pounds. But again, the best place to get them is attractiontickets.com. Just go there and have a look and select the date that you want. My second tip, and this is actually one of the reasons why this event is so popular, is because you're actually allowed to dress up. Yes, it's a Halloween event, and unlike regular hours during the day when adults are not allowed to dress up as a princess or as a villain or anything, for these Halloween parties, even adults are allowed to dress up. Now, there are some restrictions. For instance, very long capes that are going to drag around the ground as you walk can be a safety hazard, so they're not going to be allowed. If you're an adult, you're not allowed to wear a mask to cover your face, but you can dress up as a princess or as a villain, or just go creative with whatever you fancy. The first year I attended, I dressed up as Snow White, and it was so much fun. They had loads of photo opportunities. A lot of cast members were constantly giving me compliments. There were other guests as well dressed up as Snow White as the evil queen, or some of them as the seven dwarfs. So it's just a very fun atmosphere. So especially if you decide to go as a Disney character, you're going to find it a lot of fun. I will say though that especially if you're planning to go to one of the Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween parties in August or September, the weather in Orlando can still be very hot. So bear that in mind when you're choosing what costume to wear. Don't wear a lot of layers because you will get hot, and always have comfortable shoes. I know it might be fun to wear high heels or unique shoes to go with your costume, but at the end of the day, you're in a theme park. You want to be able to walk in, have a good time without feeling uncomfortable. So comfortable shoes are always a must. My next tip is that whilst this event officially starts at 7 p.m. and lasts until midnight, ticket holders are allowed to enter the Magic Kingdom from 4 p.m. onwards. So if you have a ticket for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party and you don't have a ticket for the parks, your ticket for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party will allow you to enter the Magic Kingdom at 4 p.m. And I would say make the most of that, because party days generally are some of the quieter days at the Magic Kingdom. A lot of guests that are not planning to go to the party normally try to go to other parks on those days because they don't want to waste buying a ticket for the Magic Kingdom when it has shorter hours. So generally speaking, you will find Magic Kingdom to be a little bit quieter on party days. And so if you get there at 4 p.m., you can enjoy the park during its regular hours, do some rides, meet some characters, get some snacks, and then be ready in the park once the party officially starts at 7 p.m. And they will have check-in points inside the park as well as obviously outside of the park. So don't worry, you don't have to leave the park and come back in. If you're already in the park, they'll have places in the park for you to be able to go and check in and get your wristband for the party. And speaking of that, once the party officially starts, obviously you will get a wristband. You'll normally also be given a little program with information about the party. So all the snacks that you can get, the hours for the parade, the fireworks, the merchandise, everything is going to be in that program. It also makes a nice souvenir. They will also give you a little trick and treat bag because it's Halloween time. You're going to go trick or treating, obviously. Now, a big draw to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party are the characters. During this event, you'll be able to meet some rare characters, some not so rare characters, but in their Halloween costumes, which is very fun. And some of these characters especially can can be very popular. Typically, Jack and Sally are some of the most popular characters that you can meet during this event. Makes sense. They love Halloween. They're very much Halloween characters, and so their lines can get very long. I would advise that if you really want to meet a particular character during this event, like if it's a make or break thing for you, one of the main reasons you're going is to meet that character, then maybe even consider starting queuing up for them before the party starts. Or another tip would be to meet them when the first parade is on, because the parade is generally on twice during the event. So a lot of people tend to go to the first showing of that parade, meaning that during the parade, other things like the attractions and the characters may have slightly lower wait times. And I would say if characters are very important to you, especially the very popular ones, use that time to meet the characters and then go see the parades later on. We're going to get to that. But also bear in mind that whilst there's going to be a list of official characters that are going to be at the event that you can find on the program, there will sometimes be some roaming characters as well that are not necessarily advertised, but you might just find them randomly around the park. So make sure on the lookout for them as well. Sometimes you can find some fun surprises. Now, if you love characters, and especially if you have little ones with you, then don't miss out on the dance parties during this event. And new for 2026, Stitch, the very popular Stitch, is going to be hosting an ever-changing dance party in Tomorrowland on the Plaza stage with the help of Lilo and Angel. So that's something that I'm really excited to check out. But like I said, there'll be dance parties happening all throughout the park, and the information and details of them will be in the program that is given to you. And oftentimes there's going to be a character or two at these dance parties, making it very fun for both children and adults. Now, I mentioned trick-or-treating earlier because obviously that's a big part of the event. I mean, it's Halloween time, and during Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party at Walt Disney World, you're going to have plenty of opportunities to trick-or-treat. I mean, there's a reason they give you a trick-or-treat bag when you check in for the party, and my advice is, if you think you're going to be doing a lot of trick-or-treating, maybe bring a bigger bag with you, because I'm telling you, there are plenty of opportunities for trick-or-treating, and especially if you're planning on doing some character meets, then oftentimes there'll be a cast member giving some treats out at the end of the meet or before the meet. They also have some trick-or-treat trails that actually have a sign on them. You can also find all the details again on the program, so make sure you keep hold of that program when you get given it. But yeah, there's going to be loads of trick-or-treat trails throughout the park. Some of them are going to have characters, some of them may just be a trail, but all of them are going to give you candy at the end of them. And good news, they even have allergy-friendly locations to trick-or-treat at. So if you have any dietary restrictions, then you will still be able to join in on the fun. Now, speaking of trick-or-treating, some of you may have already noticed my ears. It says trick-or-treat on them. And I actually purchased these at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party in 2024, and they're party-exclusive ears. So that's another thing that you can do at the party. If you love doing a bit of shopping, then during this event, there'll be some merchandise that is only exclusive for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, and you can only purchase these merchandise items if you have a ticket for Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. And these ears, honestly, are some of my favorite Halloween ears I've ever bought. I'm going to show you the back of them. It's got the date 2024, Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party on the other ear, and the design on the front is so cool as well. So again, if you're a bit of a shopaholic like I am, then don't forget that they do have some Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party exclusive merchandise that you can purchase whilst you're at the party. And generally speaking, you can find them in the shops on Main Street. The exact locations and details each year, again, will be on the official program, as you know by now, the very important program for the night that is given to you. But yeah, I've seen really cool things like ears, pins they normally have, and they're very popular. They do spirit jerseys sometimes. So yeah, definitely worth at least checking out if you want a bit of a break from everything else throughout the party. Then one of the absolute highlights of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party every year is Mickey's Boo to You Halloween Parade, which happens twice per event. So you've got two opportunities to watch it. You can even watch it twice if you would like to. But as I mentioned a little bit earlier in the video, I would recommend trying to opt for the second one, because the first one is by far the most popular one. Obviously, it's the first one of the party. A lot of people might be there with younger children, and they want to make sure that their children are awake for the parade. So they're going to try and watch that first one. When I last attended this event, I made sure to be in a queue for a character when the first parade happened. And then for the second parade, I got to Main Street maybe like 25 minutes before and was able to still get a pretty good spot. So again, things like this are going to vary depending on what time of year you're going, whether you're going during the week or on a weekend. So, you know, you can never guarantee what the best time is to get there. What I will say though is that if it's important to you, forget what I just said and actually go and watch that first parade, because with the weather, especially in Orlando, you never know what could happen. Something could go wrong with the second parade. So if it's absolutely 100% important to you, if it's your first time and you've never seen this parade before, or if you think it's going to be the biggest highlight for you, then just wait for that first parade to make sure that you've seen it. And by doing so, it also means that if you end up enjoying it so much that you want to see it again, you will have an opportunity to watch it for the second time. And I would say a general rule of thumb is to get there at least half an hour early, maybe 45 minutes early. Some people will start getting their spots even an hour early. But whatever you do, don't miss out on seeing the Headless Horseman. So the Headless Horseman is another one of the highlights of the event, and he actually leads the parade. So before the parade has officially started, you will see the Headless Horseman walk the same route as the parade. Walk? I mean, he's with a horse. Gallop? Either way, he's definitely a highlight. You don't want to miss him out. Whilst we're on the topic of live entertainment, another big highlight of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party is the Hocus Pocus Villain Spectacular Show, which happens several times throughout the party on the castle stage in front of Cinderella's castle. And of course, it features the Sanderson sisters. It also features some villains. Mickey Mouse might appear at some point. It's a very fun show, great music, and as I said, a big highlight of this event. My tip for this would be to try and catch the very final performance, because they normally have one that starts literally as the party ends, so midnight. And if you choose to do that, it means that you're not eating into your party time. You can spend the few hours that you have for the actual party doing other things, and then once the party officially ends at midnight, you can be by the castle stage excited to watch this incredible show. If you're a big fan of Hocus Pocus especially, you don't want to miss it. Another thing to be aware of is that obviously the party is from 7 p.m. until midnight, and you can choose to eat dinner or something before the party starts so that you can spend those 5 hours dedicated completely to the Halloween party exclusive things that you can do. But Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party also does offer some exclusive snacks that you can only purchase whilst you're at the party. So if you're a foodie, or if you just like trying exciting theme park food, then maybe set some time aside during the event to try these snacks. They have a number of savory snacks, some sweet snacks, and for some of them you can actually use mobile order, which is something that I would always recommend if you're visiting Walt Disney World. It makes your life so much easier. It means that you can, order what you want whilst you're in a queue doing something else, and then they'll give you a pickup time to go and collect your food, so you don't have to wait too long in a queue to go and order in person. We don't know what the snacks are going to be yet for 2026, but I'm really excited. Last time I was there in 2024, I did try a couple of snacks. I think I had a chicken burger, which was actually really good. So definitely have a look at what new snacks are going to be available for this year's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Again, the guide that is given to you when you enter the park is going to be your best friend. Also, very quickly, most people are probably not going to be prioritizing rides when they're at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, but there are a couple of rides that I would say if you're a big attraction lover, then might be worth doing because they have some special overlays. So one of them is Space Mountain in Tomorrowland. During these events, because it's called Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, Space Mountain becomes a little bit scarier than normal. It's basically pitch black, which can be very fun for thrill seekers. And then the other one is Mad Tea Party in Fantasyland. That one also has some special spooky Halloween lighting throughout the party. So again, if you want to do rides, by all means, go for it. But it's not something I would recommend personally, because 5 hours might sound like a long time, but trust me, when you're there, when you're having fun, it goes by very quickly. The last big thing that happens throughout this event is the fireworks show, which happens once per party and generally speaking at 10 p.m. This is called the Disney's Not So Spooky Spectacular, and it's mainly a fireworks show. There will be some projections on the castle, but no projections on the Main Street building, so bear that in mind. The best place to be for this fireworks show, if you really want to watch it properly and see Jack Skellington, because he's a big highlight of this fireworks show, is to be as close to the castle as possible. And people who love the show do get their spots very early. So I would say, again, if this is something that you think is a big thing for you, and if you really want to make sure that you have a good spot, maybe consider getting a spot at least half an hour before the fireworks show starts, or maybe even 45 minutes if you want to make sure to see Jack Skellington especially. But if you don't care too much about the projections or Jack Skellington, then obviously you're going to be able to see the fireworks from almost anywhere in the parks, because they're the big, huge fireworks that you can see everywhere. And last time I attended this, actually, I was in Frontierland, I think, when this happened. I wanted to be by the castle, but it was just so busy by the time I got there, and I decided to not let it upset me and just go to Frontierland and enjoy myself regardless. And what I did notice is that during the fireworks show, the rest of the park was very empty. Barely anybody there. The cast members were just chilling, chatting to me me and the few other guests that were in the lands because of how empty it was. It was a very nice atmosphere actually, and they still had entertainment out. I mean, I remember meeting the country bears because they were just there chilling with not many guests around them. So I was just hanging out with them. I took a bunch of photos with them. Like I said, chatted to the cast members. And the best thing, I was still able to see the fireworks because the fireworks are high. You can see them in the sky from, like I said, most places in the park. And truly, that was actually one of my personal favorite highlights of my time at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Yes, I may have missed out on seeing Jack Skellington in front of the castle and seeing all the projections on the castle or watching it properly, but it made for a much more special memory for me. And I still saw the fireworks. I still had a wonderful experience that I wouldn't have been able to get if it was during regular times. And so my final tip is to actually go with the flow. Have a few priorities, maybe 3 or 4 priorities, 3 absolute must-dos that you really want to highlight when you're there. And once you've done those, then just relax, enjoy the atmosphere, let the party take you where it takes you. Sometimes those surprises can be the best moments of an event, in my opinion. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't want to just go into the party without any plans because you need planning, especially if you want to meet those characters, if you want to have a good spot for the parade, the snacks, where to get them, trick-or-treating, things like that you do want to be prepared for. However, give yourself a bit of leeway to just enjoy it as well, not just run from one place to another because, like I said, 5 hours will go by very quickly, and the best way to make sure that you're happy with your evening is to have had your priorities, do those, and then have a little bit of time to actually enjoy it as well without worrying about getting things done. That's my opinion anyway. That's why I enjoyed myself so much at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party when I last attended it. And if you're there until the very end of the party, because obviously you're free to leave whenever you want to, some guests do, especially guests with younger children, may choose to stay for a couple of hours and then after the first parade, they make their way out. But if you're there until the end and if you like trick-or-treating, then the trick-or-treat trails towards the end of the night end up giving you possibly more candy and more treats than earlier in the evening because obviously it's the end of the night, cast members want to get rid of all their candy, so that's definitely a tip as well if you like collecting loads of candy and sweets before the party ends. But those were just my tips from the 2 times that I've attended Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. I would love to hear any tips that you might have as well in the comments down below, and let me know if you've ever been to Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party. Are you hoping to go this year? The dates have been announced, like I said, and you can check them all out on attractiontickets.com. I'm definitely hoping to be there. It's one of my favorite after-hour parties at any Disney park, and the Boo to You parade especially is so much fun. The atmosphere is great. Everything, the spooky vibe, the not so scary spooky vibe is a big draw and one of my personal highlights of the Halloween season every year. But with that being said, I'm gonna love you and leave you. Thank you for watching this video and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye!